Hello everyone, myself Gaurangi Kushwa and I am an intern at Lexis and Company. So today in this video, we'll be talking about the doctrine of impossibility. Let's move towards the video. So the doctrine of impossibility is a contract law concept and refers to situations in which it's impossible for a party to a contract to perform its obligations under it. While staying in Allahabad High Court order asking the Uttar Pradesh government to implement a series of measures to manage COVID-19, the Supreme Court on Friday said that the doctrine of impossibility would be equally applicable to court's order as well. The observation was made by a bench comprising Justice Vineet Saran and Justice B.R. Gawai on the center's appeal against an Allahabad High Court order passed on 17th May, which suggested several measures for the development of medical infrastructure in the state and observed that the entire healthcare system in villages and small cities of the state was Ram Bharose at God's mercy. In its order, the apex court appreciated the efforts of various high courts in taking up matters related to the management of COVID-19 in parts of the country, but said sometimes unwittingly the courts overstep and pass certain orders which may not be capable of being implemented. The court then asserted that the High Court should normally consider the possibility of the implementation of the directions given by it, and such directions which are incapable of being implemented should be avoided. The doctrine of impossibility, basically in our view, would be equally applicable to court's order as well, it added. What is the doctrine of impossibility? Now let's understand that. The doctrine of impossibility is a contract law concept, as I have said it before, and refers to a situation in which it is impossible for a party to a contract to perform its obligation under it. Section 56 of the Indian Contract Act 1872 states that an agreement to do an act impossible in itself is void. It also talks about a scenario in which an act becomes impossible or unlawful or illegal after the contract was drawn. The provision noted that such a contract also becomes void when the act becomes impossible or unlawful. A contract is typically said to have been frustrated if the performance of such the contract becomes impossible. Section 56 lists down some examples of such scenarios. One of the examples says that an agreement by which A agrees with B to discover treasure by magic is void. Another example is A contract to act at a theater for 6 months is in consideration of a sum paid in advance by B. On several occasions, A is too ill to act. The contract to act on those occasions become void. Impossible act according to Contract Act and Supreme Court. In a landmark 1953 judgment, which is still followed by the court when dealing with the Section 56, the Supreme Court has explained that the first part of the provision speaks of something which is impossible inherently by its very nature, and no one can obviously be directed to an act. An example of the inherent possibility is the example of one party agreeing to discover treasure by magic. The second party of the provision talks about the supervening impossibility or illegality of the act agreed to be done. With regards to this, the court explained that the impossibility being spoken of in the provision is not physical or literal impossibility. If noted that the performance of any act may be literally impossible, but it may be impractical and useless from the point of view of the object and purpose which the parties had in view, and if an untoward event. Section 56 also covers force majeure event if they are not covered by the contract. The provision therefore covers death or incapacity of a party to a contract, government interventions, etc. However, conversely, it has been held that the mere rise in a cost or expense or a rise in price making the contract more expensive to perform would not frustrate a contract. And now, Allahabad High Court's unimplementable orders. So during the Supreme Court's hearing Friday on the Allahabad High Court order, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta referred to several of the directions passed by the High Court and submitted that howsoever much the state may be desirous of implementing the directions issued by the High Court, the state are incapable of being implemented. For instance, the apex court noted that the High Court has directed that every B grade and C grade town of the state should be provided with at least 20 ambulances, and that every village should be provided with at least 2 ambulances with intensive care unit, that is ICU facilities. All this had been ordered to be done within a month. However, Mehta said that there are over 97,000 villages in Uttar Pradesh, and hence it's practically and humanly impossible to provide two ambulances with such facilities in each village in such a short period of time. He told the court that while the government is working to provide such facilities, such an order would cause embarrassment to the state government and officers who may not be able to implement the same and could be hauled up by the court. This is the second Allahabad High Court hearing relating to the COVID-19 management in the state that Supreme Court had stayed. An earlier order passed on 19th April imposing a near lockdown in 5 cities in the state was stayed by the top court. This was after the UP government told the court that the High Court order will create immense administrative difficulties and that a lockdown for a judicial order may not be a right approach. So by this, I end my video here. I hope you all have understood it well. Thank you so much and have a nice day.